to Monday night's episode of the Blitz Pickup. We have 4 topics tonight. Hopefully we can get to all of them as long as the guys don't have too much banter back and forth. But we're going to talk about Jonah Savaiinaea and how we may or may not be worried about him showing up tomorrow. McDaniel and Anthony Weaver. There's another little blame game by the media towards Mike McDaniel, and I'll let Tony kind of touch on that. And then ESPN dropped their top 10 QB list. So I definitely want to get the guys' thoughts on that. So nothing else from me. I'll bring them up.
Chess, what's good?
What's up?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna let Tony touch on that and just skip over Lewis. It's crazy. That's all I'm gonna say.
This is how you want to start the
show. Hey man, listen. I missed one episode and Josh already got Tom touching on things out here. It's crazy. That's crazy.
Hey Lou, hold on. Hey Lou, now you wasn't here last time, Lou. So I want to get your thoughts on something. If you know, hey, Jess, if you don't mind, can I get Lou thoughts on something before we start the show?
Go right ahead.
Hey, my good brother. Do you want to? I want your thoughts on this real quick, Lou.
Aquavision, Big O, are you getting a visit from the TFTG crew? I have no idea what that is, bro. That went right over my head. Anybody want to fill me in on what the hell do I not know? I don't know what the hell is the TFTG crew is, my brother. You got me there, my man. I'm sorry. I could not pick up on that one.
Hey, Lou. What they do, Lou? Shout out to the fellas, man.
Who?
Hey, I just want to say I side with the Big O. I was confused too when I heard that message. I didn't know, and I started thinking about it, right? And then I realized they're talking about my man Shake Money. And really, that's the only. Well, Ali the Persian over there as well. Other than that, though, I don't know a lot of guys over there. Hey, salute to them, though. I'm pretty sure that's a good group over there. But to be honest, Tone, the only ones I know is Shake Money and Ali the Persian. Man.
So, okay. Wow. He said can elaborate on that? Oh no, bruh. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jess. I had
it's okay. I'd rather you get that out of the way now. So I'm gonna start us off a little quickly on this. Jonah Savaiinaea. Should we be worried if he doesn't show up tomorrow when tomorrow the rookies report, for people that didn't know that?
Who first?
You want me to take that first?
Oh, whichever one. Whichever. I don't know. Like if either one of you.
Well, I'm the trenches guy, so I think Lewis will go first.
So you in the trenches and touching shit. All right, you're done for the night.
That's crazy. That is definitely crazy. Should we be concerned? Man, that's hard to answer. I want to watch what I say. You know what? To be fair, yeah, I think we should be concerned just from the simple standpoint. He's a rookie. You want all your rookies to kind of go in there, show good faith, and at least kind of show that they're putting their heads in the playbook and this, that, and the third. So from that standpoint, I would say, yeah, you kind of want to see them, right? So, but again, I get it. I think the second round picks, all of them, I think there's, 30 out of 32 of them that still haven't signed their contracts. So from that standpoint, I get the bigger picture. I get what they're trying to do, like, trying to take a united front. So I kind of see both sides, but I guess the way the question is posed, Tone and Jess, I would say, yes, for me, I would want to see him in there so he could kind of, show the organization good faith, show kind of the fan base some good faith, and show us that he's more about learning the playbook and being with his guys than ultimately the money, right? But I do see both sides of it, but just since the question was posed, yeah, I think it's a concern if we don't see him.
I got a question, Cena. I'm not 100% sure about the answer to it, but correct me if I'm wrong. If they don't sign their contract, they can't practice, right? Until they sign it now because it's mandatory. Am I correct on that, Lou? Do you know?
Oh, well, I don't know that. Like, if that's the case, though, Tone, then my answer would definitely change.
Well, no,
Right?
you know why I said that? Because I'm quite sure all of these rookies have a contract. They just refuse to sign it based on the structure of the contract. You get me?
Right.
So
right.
it's not like there's not a contract waiting for all of them to be signed, because you know, like I know, and we all know, for the most part, we already know how much they're getting paid. At this point, it's just how much is being fully guaranteed. That's the only difference. That's the only strife that all these players have with the contract. So, this is what I would say from our standpoint, because I saw what brought this to my attention. I think the dude Trey Harris, I believe he's the receiver, that the Chargers had, they drafted, they second rounder. he held out. So, and out of all these second rounders, and you know the agents probably mentioning it to them, if they're like all in unison and like, you know, and they're going to take a stance, then I think it could be a possible problem for every team. Because obviously they're rookies and they need as much practice as they can. You don't want to start it off your career this way, you know. But I get it. There's their money on the line, so I would never tell people how to make a living and how to take care of their families. However, from a fan standpoint, you know, that's always my standpoint from the franchise, right? I think it's we should be concerned. Why? Because he's not just a regular second round pick for us. You remember we traded assets to go up and get him. You understand? We traded that 98, I think it was. I know we traded our third round to go up and get him. So, which means they invested in him. So, listen, I'll say this: is you traded up to get him, which means you showed some that he was worth enough to give away assets. So, is it really a big deal to guarantee money? You know, how big of a deal is it? I get them that they you know, one thing about it now, they stand firm on this money that they're giving away and the way they've been moving. I will give them credit for that. But from a, like, you know, like how you is, Lou, from a fan standpoint, I think we should be a bit worried. Why? Now, this is a bigger thing, right, Lewis? A bigger issue. Let me pause. Because, bro, we already have the biggest issues are our offensive line. You know, he's already a rookie, and then Armstead is down, so you depending on Patrick Paul. So this is the last thing that you want as a fan and as a franchise. The biggest positional group that you have the issue with is the one that you just happen to spend a second round draft pick on, and now is a possibility of him holding out. So, no, I do hope that he's like what you say, Lou, that he just show a good faith and just show up and be a professional about it. However, it's the reason why I posed the question first, because if he's not allowed to, unless he signed a contract, now how you look at it? Now do we look at it differently? Like, you know, you got to respect how, you know, how these players are moving, because this is their livelihood. And, you know, I would never I would never hate on people taking a stance. And that's the part that I don't forget about, which is the business aspect of it. So, listen, from a fan standpoint, I hope everything works out fine and he shows up. He signs the contract, whatever the contract is, however it may be, or they come to some type of conclusion before tomorrow. But I would say tomorrow would time will tell. We'll see, but we don't want to go into the training camp or any, you know, with our second round, which is just to happen to be our offensive line, not showing up. I don't think that's a good look.
No, it's definitely not a good look. But again, these are these topics right here, because both of us both said it, Tone. We both understand from the business side what these players are trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But look at the last comment by G. Getting shook down by 2 second round or by a
second round rookie. Yeah.
You see, and this is the problem with that I see what at least for me with this statement. It's not only the Dolphins that is getting shook down, right? It's
The NFL.
It's the NFL. So these are the conversations, Tone, when we bring up from an organizational standpoint.
Oh.
We both understand, like we both said, we understand from the player side. Let's go to the Dolphins standpoint, though. Would you want the Dolphins to be one of these, like the other two teams? I forgot what it is. It's Houston, and I forget the other one that signed the second round pick. Would you want the
Houston,
Dolphins?
I think Detroit, right? I'm not sure, but yeah.
I don't know about the second one, but I know it's Houston was the first one.
Right, yeah.
They gave a fully guaranteed
contract.
They
gave Higgins, J.D. Higgins, the one I wanted to receive from Iowa State. Yep.
So let me ask you this, Tone, Jess. Would you like to see the Dolphin organization fold in this scenario and just give Savaiinaea his guaranteed contract? Would you like to see them fold?
See, fold is not. I don't want my franchise to fold under any circumstance. So no. And this one right here, I'm not holding against them. This is everyone dealing with this. I think what they should do is come to the table, set some type of precedent, because it's the first time it's ever happened. And the agents, the Party of Players Association, and the owners come together and be like, hey, listen, let's come up with a scenario where this could work out for all of us, for all parties involved, and move forward. But by any means necessary, I don't need my franchise folding on nothing. We can't come out here and talk about culture and standards and soft and mentally weak and mental toughness, and then come out here and want our franchise to fold to a rookie when the rest of the league isn't either. Me personally, no, I don't want my team to fold to that. No.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. It's a no for me. Not when we're not like the only team or like one of select few in this situation. If there was like a couple teams, then I'll be like, no, still, but I'd be more inclined probably to lean to the other side. But since it's not just us or not just a few teams, it's like multiple teams, and I'll be like, nah, stick to it. Let everybody else do what they need to do first.
And it's Cleveland, the cornerback, and Carson Schwarzenegger.
So if that's the case, listening to what you and Tone just said, and I agree, I don't want us to fold neither or give in. If that means Jonah, Savaiinaea, and others across the league, let's say, are going to stand firm and they don't, let's say, sign the contract that's already been, because I think Tony said it best, there's a contract out there for them. They just haven't signed it because they're fighting for the guaranteed money. If that costs us games with, like, let's say we get into the season and there's no contract, and now Jonah is not even in the building, what do you do then? Are y'all still with the same standpoint heading into week one? Like, if it's the Friday before game one and there's still no sign of Jonah Savaiinaea, I guess the question I would have for both of y'all, does y'all standpoint change at that point? Or are y'all just, is this the standpoint we all holding firm in however long it takes?
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Okay.
If it takes going through that, sometimes you got to make those decisions, and when you take a stance, that's what it is. We're gonna come to some agreement, but there will be no folding. So yeah, if we going at that point, if we get to a certain, because if I'm not mistaken, I know just because the rookies report, so I'm not sure, but I'm like 80% sure when it comes to mandatory. If he don't have a contract, he can't show up whether he want to or not. You get me? When it comes to mandatory, so the 23rd. If he doesn't show up on the 23rd, guess what? You should already be. Matter of fact, at this point, you should already be working on a contingency plan, or be willing to go in to the season with the guys you chose to bring in, and move that way. Move as if he's not going to be here. Because the show must go on. Everyone else is dealing with it. No one cares about you. No one cares about the feelings. They don't care if that your offensive line is weakness. So you move forward. You move accordingly. I'm sorry. So yeah, I'm willing to go into the whole season and be like, hey, it is what it is, bro. So, but nah, that's my standpoint.
Yeah, I would agree. I agree.
Jess, you too?
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Right. Now, this is what I want to say, right, Lou, because you know how we do. Now we stand firm and you know, you're gonna have the crybabies out there saying, oh, Tua needs protection, the offensive line. How can y'all feel that way when y'all know we have offensive line? But first of all, the first thing we talk about, right, is mental toughness. The second thing we talk about is culture, right? And you know what comes with mental toughness and culture? Sometimes you have to make the hard decisions to stand firm on what you're trying to build here. So when these type of situations present itself to you, guess what? This is when you show actions speak louder than words. You could tell me you're trying to change things and we're trying to switch the culture up, but when situations like this happen, now you get to show me, are you going to stand firm? Chris Grill, you've been telling us all season how you deferred a little bit more than you would have liked. Now, we understand you have your number. You don't move off your number. People have to go over your head to move off that number. Right now, you have the opportunity to show us, I told y'all, I'm not deferring like I used to. My number is my number, and we're going to figure it out. So, no, yeah, so don't take it as if we don't care about the team or nothing. No, we understand the bigger picture. You can't have a short-term memory or vision. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, but I think there's a misnomer because I've seen a couple people say it in the chat, and I don't know if that's what you're kind of talking about, Tom. The money's not going to change.
No, it isn't. No, remember, it's just a guarantee. That's it.
It's just a guarantee. That's all they're fighting for. They want fully guaranteed contract. We got people in the chat, Tom, basically saying like, Cap for life, salute for Cap being in here. But he was saying earlier, the market today is not the market tomorrow. That's not the case in where we're at now. The money's not changing. This second round picks, they're all slotted in their draft slot.
Yes, for the most part. I hope people need to understand that.
It's slotted. So all we're fighting with is, hey, this is what your contract's going to look like. You're either going to sign it with this much money guaranteed on the life of the contract, or you're not going to sign it, right? Because we're not going to give you the guarantee. But the money aspect, like years and money-wise and stuff, that doesn't change. I just want people to understand that.
Yes, please. That's a great point to make. The money is already there. It's guaranteed. That's it. But yeah, so obviously I'm willing to. Listen. First game, you take a hard, firm stance and you don't move off it. Even like you said, Lou. Or the question, to answer your question, even if it comes to game one and he still, or all of these rookies haven't signed, hey, it is what it is. All the rest of the teams are prepared to go in the season. Short day second round, we should be too. We gotta hold the standard, live up to the standard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me see something.
Okay, so if you guys are ready, I'm interested on the next topic, since this one is a little bit more interesting than maybe I thought it was going to be, right? Okay, so Mike McDaniel and Anthony Weaver. What should they be focused on going into training camp, since this is now where we're at?
See now,
main focus, priority.
See now, like think about this. You need to be focused on the people that are actually going to be in camp. To me, right? Also, I put a little bit more emphasis on the trenches now. Mike McDaniel, a little bit more emphasis on the trenches. If you're dealing with this, but listen, this is what I like. Without even thinking about this, I think the main thing that they should be worried about and that they should be focused on is mentality. Practicing hard and no easy practice, because one thing we know about it, you know what? Think about people not mention this enough, right? You know what a lot of the veterans that come in and say about our practices? They're easy. Multiple veterans came in and said our practices are easy. Now me, a person that's always out there, I understand we have the shortest practices. Whenever it get too hot, they go inside. Whenever rains that go inside. We don't see sprints, which is conditioning. Now we don't know what they do on the inside. I'm just telling you from what I actually see. And for the most part, we don't see full-on competition. Like I say, I mention this every time. We don't see fights. There's no pushing, no shoving, no. Like, where is the passion? The passion for the game. So I think for the most part in here, they need to practice what they preach, for lack of a better term. You saying you're gonna change the culture? I need to see you out there practicing it. I'm not even paying attention to X's and O's at this point, because one thing that I think this team has shown is whether you have the X's and O's, and me and Lewis point this out a lot, which is going to be part of this another topic, right? But we look at the X's and O's, for the most part, it's there. For the most part, it's all about execution. And one thing is a saying, right? The great ones, you know what they do? When all things start to fall, they go back to the basics. Focus on the fundamentals. And then one of the main things that they teach you about being successful in anything you do is what? Practice makes perfect. So if you're not practicing at full speed, if you're not practicing at maximum effort, how do you automatically expect people to give maximum effort for the rest of the season if they're not even practicing that way? So I think they should be focused on, like, for the most part, mindset, the whole mindset. And I don't want to hear you saying nothing about mindset. I want to see it on the field. I want to see people doing the drill with more emphasis. I want to see them practicing with a purpose. I want to see them having a little passion, and being into the practice and want to run every play. Before I move it on, right, and I let Lewis answer, I want to bring to your attention something that Dwayne Wade said, right? Dwayne Wade, when he left, when he left Miami, went to Chicago, you know what he said he noticed? And when he was like, he need to get back to Miami, he noticed the way they was practicing. He was like, when they would mess up on a drill, they would just go on to the next one. It's not, they don't run it over. And he was like, that's when he realized, oh, now I understand why y'all haven't been successful. I understand why even with a lesser team, Miami will outbeat some of you guys, because y'all not even practicing to get to run a drill correctly. Y'all just going through the motions. And for the most part, that's what it seemed like we're doing. So that's what I feel like they should focus on, is doing everything with a purpose. As far as Mike McDaniel, I think he covered that for the most part. I'm like watching him. You know what I did? I watched Anthony Weaver and Vic Fangio. The one thing that I would say that I noticed from Vic Fangio that I didn't see for Anthony Weaver is the paying attention to details and making sure he want everything perfect. We was out there one time and they was running the bags, and it was just it was like you had to do like a certain amount of chops and then peak, and then it's like the pull, the hold, and then the shove and pull, right? They was doing that. When the people cheated on the peak and they peaked at the wrong side just to try to get to the to the next play. And he did this with Calais Campbell. He made Calais Campbell run it over. He made Dalen Phillips run it over, and it was one more veteran guy. But anyways, he made all them run it over. I didn't see that paying attention to detail in practice when it came to Weaver. But that's the only thing I would say I saw differently. But he makes them run everything at full speed. You could tell the difference if y'all go out to the training camp. You could tell the difference when you see the defense running their drills and the offense running their drills. You can see how he makes sure they do everything with a purpose. So that would be my only critique. But yeah, that's it.
For me, what I would like to see from Mike McDaniel, I'll start with him first, is delegate more on the offensive side of the ball. Now, I'm not saying I don't want him to not call the plays. That's not what I'm saying. I want Mike McDaniel still to call the plays, but especially in training camps and OTAs and mini camps and all the stuff we're getting into now. Listen, you have Frank Smith. You have Darrell Bevel. You brought in the kid from Houston. I'm kind of, I'm under the weather a little bit. I slipped. I'm forgetting his name, but the guy we just brought in that was the offensive coordinator in Houston the last 2 years with C.J. Stroud. You also have him. So Mike McDaniel, I think for me, what I want him to do, especially in this mini camp, training camp, even preseason, is be more of the delegator head coach, right? What have we heard, Tone and Jess, here recently? Mike McDaniel has lost the locker room. Right? What you need to do is at practice, we all know you're an offensive guy, but spend more time with the defensive players. Spend more time in the trenches with the offensive line. Spend more time in the secondary, right? Just make your presence felt from a head coach and delegate. Let your quarterbacks coach. Let your offensive coordinators coach. Let all these guys help you, right? And be more of a presence as the head coach, right? And make your presence felt throughout the whole building, except just one unit or one quarterback or one whatever, right? That's what I would want to see Mike McDaniel do. And then for Anthony Weaver, Tone, Jess, you know how I'm really excited about the front seven, especially the defensive line. And it's crazy that our defensive coordinator, Tone, has a defensive line background. That's what he played when he was a player. That's what he's coached. I want that boy to kind of to what you were just saying, Tone, at practice. Get these guys like the Kenneth Grants. Get these guys like the Sealers, the Bradley Chubbs, the Jalen Phillips that are coming back. Get these guys to be a well-oiled machine. Like that's where, in my opinion, Anthony Weaver's real focus should be. Because, again, we all have these questions. Well, what about the secondary? What about this? What about that? What helps a struggling secondary is a front seven, especially a front four that can create havoc, right? And I think you have the pieces in place here, Tone and Jess, to do it. I just want Anthony Weaver to kind of, again, get the best out of that unit. That's your specialty, right? Like we harp on Mike McDaniel. He's supposed to be a run game coordinator. He needs to do that. Cool. Yeah. Anthony Weaver is a defensive line coach. He's guru. That's his specialty. I need him to put a special emphasis on that, Tone. Like, to your point, at practices when they're doing their hitting drills or their shuffles or coming out of, hey, put your hands here. Just make sure there's an emphasis of these guys know what they need to be doing. And that, for me, is what I'm looking for, Anthony Weaver. And then, again, Mike McDaniel, just to be an overall, like, overseer of the whole team. Forget about just the offensive coordinator and I'm here to save Tua's career or whatever. Again, if you lose in the locker room, you need to have your presence all over the locker room to where you're kind of regaining that. So that's for me, that's what I want Mike McDaniel to do. Be an overseer and kind of delegate a little bit more, and then Anthony Weaver, just get this D-line right, man.
Yeah, I was looking it up. You just talk about Bobby Slowick. That's what they brought in.
Bobby Slowick as well. So again, bro, you have Darrell Bevel, you have Frank Smith, and Bobby Slowick. Again, while you're being a head coach and maybe sitting in other meeting rooms or other sides of the field, let those guys coach as well, bro. Because maybe these players on the offensive side, Tone, need to hear a different voice, right? Maybe they need to be coached by somebody else. And again, you are the overall head coach of the team. Make your presence felt on the whole team, except just the offensive side of the ball. That's what I would like Mike McDaniel to do.
That's actually 100% fact and perfect, because yes, he has to understand that his main role is being the head coach, which is the overseer, and one of the hidden arts of being a leader of men is understanding how to delegate. That's one of, like, when you see a lot of the leaders, they don't understand how important delegating is, so you can focus on more of your job, your duties, and you can focus on more than one thing at a time without having so much things on your plate. So you have to, the key that is, Lou, bringing in people that you trust and bringing in people that you understand can do their job the way you will be satisfied with.
That's a fact.
So
delegate your roster. So sorry. so I have one more question. Don't be making me laugh. You're gonna spit out that water.
Yo, chill.
It's a Monday. Stop it. So I have one more question before we move off of like McDaniel and Anthony Weaver topic. So do we think that it may or may not be a possibility that Anthony Weaver gets a head coaching job next year? Maybe not with Miami, or maybe with Miami.
Well, I think if Mike McDaniel gets fired, I think he'll have every opportunity to become a head coach in Miami. But yes, to answer the question, let's say Mike McDaniel is safe. The Dolphins want to keep the Mike McDaniel era going. I do believe that Anthony Weaver will get a job somewhere else. I don't think he will be coming back for a third season as the DC in Miami, to answer your question, Jess. I think there was, again, when there's smoke, there's fire. There was a lot of smoke about Anthony Weaver last year. We all know he had like 3 to 4 interviews with the New Orleans Saints. I just think, especially again, looking at the job he did last year, I know people get in their feelings with wins and losses. Oh, the defense is this, that, and the third. I think with the amount of injuries and some of the players that he had to work with last year, look at the job he did. If he can get another performance like that and even get this unit to be a top 10, hell, if we even get lucky enough to have a top 5 unit, without question, whether it's in Miami or not in Miami, Jess, I do think Anthony Weaver would be a head coach somewhere else.
You know what? I think, right, if he have, let's say, a like top 12 to top 15 unit, I think more than likely he's going to get another job, whether it's here or somewhere else. Because I like, just think about it. If you're looking at it from a franchise standpoint, and let's say you're a GM or someone looking to bring in a guy to change your to fix your defense, we know the limitations that he's going to have at cornerback. We do. So if he could get them to play up to par, if he can have that front seven, which most of us are excited about, to see how he get those guys to click and how get them to mesh and see if they can create havoc. Yo, teams are going to look at that. GMs are going to look at that. They probably not going to play the results as much because they understand what he's working with for the most part, like the players and the lack of cornerback depth. And if he somehow get them to play, above what people initially assumed how they're going to play, that's going to be a check on under his belt. Us as a fan, like some of us fans, we just look on from the outside and looking in, and we look at numbers and, hey man, they was bad in passing defense, and all he did was work with the offensive line. But people that really analyze and scout and break down films, and they really look for someone based on their talent and their potential, let him get this defense playing, like I said, in the top 15 to 12, especially if he get in the top 10. He's going to be a real hot commodity because everyone knows what he's working with. It's kind of like the same effect that, I don't know if y'all remember the first season Brian Flores was here, when we started off trash, and then he won those last 4 or 5 games down the stretch, and they was talking about him possibly being coach of the year because of how much he was getting done with the roster that he had. Even though we only won how many games, 4 or 5 games that year or whatever it was, I don't remember. That's not how the people that evaluate this game were looking at it. They were looking at it like, yo, he did all that with that bunch of guys. Imagine when you get him the right amount of talent to work with, and then think of the possibilities. So one thing about it, when you listen to him, he conducts his interviews. He sounds like a guy that's supposed to be a head coach. He sounds like a guy that has a plan. He sounds like a guy that knows what he's doing. And he sounds like a leader of men. Now, Lewis was just talking about how he will want Mike McDaniel to be more of a leader of men, and be more of a head coach. He sounds like he already had to have that down pat. So yeah, he already I think he's already has a head start when it comes to the part of coaching that I believe Mike McDaniel was lacking the most at, which is being a leader of men, demanding your respect, understanding how to establish a vision and have the players execute it. Even when it comes to coaching, you got to look at that. They still have to execute. The players have to do that. So, but he seemed like he had a mindset and he understands what it takes to lead a franchise, and that's good. And that's that's like the gift and the curse for us as fans. Like, you want a guy like that on your coaching staff. However, those are the guys that get poached quick, and and you want to see people be successful and get an opportunity to be a head coach. So you can't be mad at it, even though we would love to be selfish and say, no, we need to keep him here. But yeah, I believe so. I think it's more likely that he gets a job next season, regardless of if it's here or in another franchise.
Okay, interesting. So back to Mike McDaniel. Recently, the media has been blaming him for the failures of our offense. True, false? How do you feel about it?
Recently,
I mean, I'm going to say more recently. I know it's been longer than recently,
right.
but we'll narrow it down to more recently.
Canty, that's the dude. Remember, I was trying to figure out his name backstage, Luke. That dude, Canty. Canty came out and said it. Them dudes from 560 Radio came out. You know what? Go ahead, Jess. Answer your question. Because my stuff.
You can go ahead. That's all right.
I'm just saying, right? I'm strolling. I'm looking, watching content, just figuring things out, trying to keep a pulse to the culture. And I saw Canty come out, and he was like, Mike McDaniel, he needs to do a better job of the defense has figured him out, and now he needs to adjust and figure something out, because he's the reason for the failures of the offense. He have to have a counter, is what he was saying, right? And then I'm listening to 560. I think that I was watching. It was a clip came on, and that dude, I forgot his name. Damn, I forgot his name. But when they was talking about who they was gonna put on, matter of fact, Cap for Life, he should help me out. He's always in there. I know he was in there. But he was saying who they put on notice. And this man literally came out and said, I think it was Leroy, that's his name, literally came out and said that he put all of the failures on Mike McDaniel. The reason this team is soft is because of Mike McDaniel. The reason this offense is failing because Mike McDaniel. The reason Waddle had a down season because of Mike McDaniel. This is what he said. And I'm like, how? And then he said that he don't want to see them running bubble screens. What team run bubble screens? That's what he was saying. And I'm like, oh, we forgot Kansas City was actually the one that led the league in running bubble screens? Did we forget this? And then he said, I want to see the big guys blocking, not Tyreek blocking from Waddle. So I was doing some little while I'm working on my thumbnail, right? I was doing some homework, going through a bunch of the plays, because that stuff started to irk my skin. So I'm going through all of the short yardage plays, passes only. And you know what I've seen for the most part? I think on every single short yardage, like the screen type, you know who I seen blocking? The big guys. You know who I seen out there blocking for Tyreek? The Grant DeBoses of the world. I forgot we had Braxton Berrios. He was here. Braxton Berrios was out there blocking. I seen they even lined up Durham Smythe at receiver a couple of times. And they was out there blocking. But you know what else I realized? See, when you go back and watch, you start to look at the film, and a lot of them plays would have been working just fine if that big guy that you wanted to go out there and block this guy. Sometimes I would see the Robert Jones not getting to the spot on time, and then you see the players having to adjust to him not being able to get to the spot. Right? This is what I'm seeing. And then sometimes you see just the defense making a great play, right? And you got to chalk that up sometimes. And then sometimes, more often than not, I was pissed off. You know what I seen? The player with the ball in his hand just went the wrong way. It was blocked. Players was in position. There was one time when Raheem Mostert got the ball. Right? I'm sorry, not Raheem Mostert. Jeff Wilson Jr. got the ball on a quick screen. He had Teron Armstead, Aaron Brewer, and I think the leading blocker at receiver was Malik Washington. The closest guy to him was like 5 yards, and he was on the inside. It was a clear lane to the outside. You know what he did? Cut back to the closest guy that was on him. I watched that play 17 times at least. And I say they put this type of stuff on Mike McDaniel. These are the type of things that they put on Mike McDaniel. Then I go watch like a couple plays later, and hey, listen, we all the fan. Well, not no more because he talked trash. But I see Raheem Mostert, the same thing. Blocking lanes, people, places that he could go. And you know what? For some reason, when they see the first guy, they feel like they should cut back. Now, you want to know why that baffled me so much? It's because these guys are built on speed. Like, if you built on speed and he had it blocked to where all you had to do is hit the outside, why aren't you doing that? And guess what? First thing I thought about, I say, now when Lewis come up here and say players need to execute, people think we trying to give passes to people, to Mike McDaniel. But it's always frustrating when we go back and look at the film and say, this is why we said they need to execute, because we forgot we would break it down film on Wednesdays and seen these. But you want to know what I realized? And then now I started to realize why he was giving Achane the ball a lot, more catches and more opportunities. Watch how he run those bubble screens. Watch how he set up his block. Watch how he don't hesitate to hit the outside. How come he scored 3 times on bubble screens and the rest of the team failed at it? But let everyone else tell us those are the worst plays in the playbook. But then I turn on the film like, if they just execute, it'll work just like it worked for Kansas City. Just like it worked for the Detroit Lions of the world. Just like it worked for the 49ers of the world. And it's crazy that the people out here in the media is doing this kind of stuff. That's crazy to me. To say, I want to see big guys running and blocking, and that's who blocking for the most part. Now, I've seen some terrible blocking. I'm not even going to lie. I seen, man, and see, now I'm even going to lie. When I started looking at the film, hey, we was giving Aaron Brewer a little bit too many passes, bro. I seen a lot of times he was out there. And you know who else? Well, he was good in run blocking, but Austin Jackson too. I put on that Buffalo film, and I saw there was three people that had to go out and pull, right? And there was only two blockers. Both of them was on the outside. They looked like they was man up. So first thing I'm thinking, okay, he need to get the first person on the inside if he's pulling. His first thing he did was he was trying to sprint. And this is what I say when execution comes in play. And you need to know what you're doing instead of learning what you're doing. And practice at full speed. Because in game time, it shows up. Because he sprinted so fast to try to get to the outside till he didn't even pay attention to who his assignment was. He didn't even realize till the last moment, oh, shucks, there's already 2 guys out here blocking. And he tried to cut back. And I just wish I could play that. I wanted to say that play. Achane would have been off to the races. But guess what? It was against Arizona. I'm sorry, not Buffalo. It was against Arizona. And Budda Baker made the play. Because of lack of execution. But you know what? Guess what we do? That's Mike McDaniel's fault. He's the reason that dudes don't know their assignment. He's the reason that dudes is missing blocks. So listen, I'll criticize him for not being a leader of men. I'll criticize him for being too soft. I would criticize him for not being my type of coach that I would prefer to have in this building. But I'm not gonna criticize this man for players like failing to execute the plays. And I think that's just an easy cop out for these people. And I think that's the low hanging fruit. And that's what everyone wants to do is blame Mike McDaniel because he's the goofy guy. He's the pushover. To me, that's soft. Be honest with you. And I just no. I don't think he's. I get it. I disagree with all of the takes that they've been having. And to me, and that's just to me, I think people need to do a better job at just doing your own homework, you know, and not just taking what these people say at face value and think that, you know, okay, that's what's really going on. Just because a lot of people say it don't make them right. So, but I get it. But that's my take on that. I don't understand why people tend to just want to blame him for everything. At least if you have some critiques about him, have some facts behind it. Please. Don't just throw out things because you in your feet. You know what it's like? I'm sorry that I'm going on a little rant, but you know what it's like? It's like when Lewis be cussing people out all the time because they mad because Mike McDaniel called pass plays on 3rd and 2nd and short, but the players running wide open. You critiquing him with your feelings because back in the day you lined up in mano y mano. Cool, I'm from that era too. That still don't change the fact that when the play he called, the players was open. If executed correctly, it's a big play waiting to happen. But hey, all I'm saying is, you know, I hate the fact that people like to. Appreciate you, Sean. I hate the fact that people like to just critique people because they don't like what they're doing, so they won't do their homework. You do anything that you don't like. Oh, you see, if he didn't do that. Oh, he threw on 4th and 1. He did a toss. Let him would have scored on that toss. They would have said, "What a brilliant play he did." Facts. Now, do I prefer you do a toss on 4th and 1? No. Like, come on, bro. I don't. But I'm not gonna act like just because he make a bad play here and there that he's completely trash and it's his fault that players are soft. All right, cool, bro. I tell you one thing. I can have the softest coach. I can have the softest best friend. I can have the softest brother. That ain't gonna make me soft. There ain't nothing in this world that gonna make me soft. So to blame another person for your softness is crazy. That is crazy to me. But you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. I digress. Go ahead, Lou. My bad, bro.
It's okay. We like when you go on little rants. You know, we listen. We do listen.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not feeling really good right now anyway. So, Tone,
right.
I completely agree with you. But the fact of the matter is, if we want to be honest, and again, this is just another illustration where I can call some people out. Tone, you asked the question. You don't understand why all they do is blame Mike McDaniel and every other coach because it's the easiest way.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's an easy take. Watch how easy it is. What's the problem here in Miami? It's the coaching. Cool. See how easy that is? But what did you say? Tone, you got the all 22. Mm-hmm. We got the all 22 over here. We could throw up any game, any possession, anything we want to do. And if you do your homework, to your point, if you do your research, right, doesn't matter what the coach is calling if there's guys open. It doesn't matter. Again, these people argue with their feelings. Listen to what you said, Tom. You brought up Canty this morning, talking about he blamed Mike McDaniel. Chris Canty, he's a former player, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Leroy, he used to be a running back for the Cleveland Browns, I believe, when he played in the league, right? He was a player, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You know what players usually do, Tom? They take so they don't be accountable for their miscues. They blame the head coach. They blame their positional coaches. It doesn't surprise me that those two idiots would come out here and blame Mike McDaniel. Now, is anybody going to listen to me and believe I'm trying to say Mike McDaniel is perfect? No, by no stretch of the imagination, Tom. Is he perfect? He definitely has to get better in certain areas. But to blame Mike McDaniel, Tone, for every little thing that happens in this building, it's ridiculous. It's the reason you get it, Tone and Jess. It's because it's the lazy take. It makes people sound like they know what the hell they're talking about, right? When they don't. It's cool. We can move off of this topic and we can get into the other ones because this is a non-issue again. For me, it's always going to be about these players. I'm done making excuses of, oh, well, if there's no, stop. If the players executed, right? We always talk about quarterbacks. If guys make tackles, right? How many times, Tone and Jess, have you seen, right? Let's say the team is playing zone defense. It's 3rd and 8. They're in a zone. They got everything in the back end covered up. It's a little pass to the flat, right? The guy catches it for a 3-yard gain. They see a linebacker and a defensive lineman, and they miss 2 tackles, and the guy on 3rd and 8 picks up 9 yards. You know what these people tell you? Well, it's Anthony Weaver. The defense is trash. Well, people don't tell you, though, on that 3rd and 8, they had everything covered up. They got a pass that was caught 3 yards in front of them, and they missed 2 tackles, and the guy got 9 yards. You want me to blame the defensive coordinator for doing his job? No, he did his job. He had guys in position to make the tackle within the first down yardage. But guess what? They got the first down. But I'm blaming the coach. That's what these people would do. Again, this is short answer for me. I'm done tired and arguing with these damn idiots, Tone and Jess, and respectfully, right? I love everybody in their chat. But these people are damn fools, bro. They're fools. Like, what are we talking about? Y'all can keep blaming all these coaches and stuff, and that's why y'all will never be happy, and that's why the Dolphins will never be where we ultimately want them to be, because all y'all do is blame the wrong damn people. And it is what it is. It's sickening at this point.
That is a fact.
Okay, then. All right, so 4th topic, right? Which is, I don't want to say it's unusual, but 4. I'm proud of you guys. I really am. I know Lou's not feeling well, but I'm proud of y'all. Because we 52 minutes in and we got 3 topics done.
You don't got time. You don't got the energy to argue today, Jess.
Yeah, I don't know. Y'all really got some Monday energy up in here because it's a little bit laid back. And I hope on Wednesday y'all come with like a little bit more, you know. I appreciate the argument sometimes. It makes my messy side come out, and I like that sometimes.
Oh Lord, here we go.
No, but okay, so ESPN dropped their top 10 QB list today. Mm-hmm. I just break it down because I want to know your thoughts on it. Huh?
Do we have the list? Can we put the list on?
We do have the list.
Let me see.
Let's see.
I forgot about.
Can somebody pull it up?
Well, again, I know the top 6. I pretty much know the list.
You know, because I want to know the order. I know, obviously, because I overheard a couple of people having an issue with, I think Jalen Hurts was 8 or 9.
I believe he was 8.
Jalen Hurts was 9.
9. So that means Goff was 8, right?
Yep.
Goff was
so you
8.
got Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Matthew Stafford, Herbert, Goff, Hurts, and Mayfield.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the only one I could care less about the order y'all want to put them in. The order ain't. I'm not going to really get into that for me. The top 5 is spot on. So unless Jess or Tone, you got a problem with the top 5, we can move down from 6 to 10, in my opinion, because the top 5 is spot on.
Top 5 is fine to me.
Y'all would agree with that? Tone, you would agree with the top 5?
Yeah. I have no issue with top 5.
Okay.
I know a couple of people probably had.
5.
I seen somebody put up. I forgot who it was, but somebody had an issue with Jaden Daniels being number 5. I don't. Who you replacing him with?
Well, that was Von Joe. Von Joe earlier was in a Twitter space with me, and he was saying he would have Jalen Hurts over. He would have Jalen Hurts in the top 5. And again, bro, listen, I think there's some recency bias here. I do think Jalen Hurts, listen, he's done enough to crack the top 10. Again, I could care less about the order, really. But no, bro, I don't think he's better than Jaden Daniels. Again, forget about the teams they play on and this, that, and the third. We're talking about from a quarterbacking standpoint. No, I think Jaden Daniels is better than Jalen Hurts, and I think that's the only one in the top 5 that you would consider putting Jalen Hurts in front of. I don't think no one here is putting Jalen Hurts over Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, and Jackson, right?
No.
So it would just be the Jaden Daniels. So let's move away from that.
Wait, let me ask one question, Lou. Do you think you have a problem with Lamar Jackson being 4th and not 2nd or 3rd?
Again, I would probably have, if it was me, I would go Mahomes, Allen. To be honest, no, I don't have a problem. I think Burrow, I would have Burrow at 3, Lamar Jackson at 4, and actually, I think they got the top 5 right.
Yeah, me too. I ain't gonna lie. I was just trying to see if you probably would have put him over Joe Burrow or drop down Josh Allen a little bit, but no, I think they got it fine.
Yeah, I think they got the list fine. 6, Matthew Stafford. Anybody got a problem with that?
No. Now, you know what? I'm glad you said that. You just remind me because I just so happen to be in that space that our good brother Vonjo. Yeah, Vonjo, I'm sorry, but I have to let you know, bro. I heard you spew some of the craziest stuff out your mouth earlier today and said that Jalen Hurts outplayed Matt Stafford when they played against them. That is further away from the truth than anything anyone has said on that app earlier. I would advise you, and you want to know what's crazy? Because last night they replayed the game. And I watched the game over the NFC divisional round, right? And I would say the only thing, and like I say, he's my favorite quarterback. I've been a Matthew Stafford quarterback. I'm a fan for forever. He missed that throw. Down 6, game on the line. What it was 4th and 7 or 8. Player open, you missed it. No excuses. But don't use that to say Jalen Hurts. Matthew Stafford had more passing yards, more touchdowns than Jalen Hurts had combined, rushing and passing in that game. Now, when they was down and Matthew Stafford started bringing them back, do you want to know who made the big play? That was a 75-yard run by Saquon Barkley. Because when Matthew Stafford started getting on his game, and it started bringing them back. When they got to within, I think it was 4, whatever it was. Saquon Barkley made that big play. I want you to go back and look how many opportunities they gave Jalen Hurts to make a play. He didn't, but Saquon came through. So no, bro. Numbers-wise, the way he affected the game-wise, it was not even close. Now, if you want to say he accomplished a little bit more, cool, because he won that Super Bowl and he came up in the biggest game when it mattered. But don't come out. This is a quarterback list. This is not who you think accomplished more or who had the better team. The person that played better what'd you say, Lou? I'm sorry.
No, that's what I was telling Von Joe today too. It's a quarterback list, not the better team or who had more success. Right.
Yeah.
I was saying the same thing.
I don't think Jalen Hurts had 250 yards total. Rushing and passing. Please don't do that. Yeah, you know, you go at one of my quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford or Joe Burrow, please understand. Know what you talk about. Don't just throw it out there because you like the guy because he's having a good season. Don't tell me he outplayed them. Now, I thought he was crazy. I ain't gonna lie, Lou. I thought he was crazy when he said that about Jaden Daniels too. But I went back. They was close. You right? I think Jaden Daniels threw for like 289 yards. I think Carter had 268 or something like that. Jalen Hurts threw for 268. He had a good higher completion percentage, but you know, again, but he had 3 1-yard rushes. And then I would say that Jaden Daniels, albeit he did throw that one interception, but they had 3 fumbles, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fumble at
And
the fumble, give you opportunities. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
And again, he still put up 31 points in that game.
Mhm.
So with the 3 turnovers, again, bro, forget about game by game basis. The fact of the matter is, we're talking about a top 10 list overall the season they had.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
care.
Facts.
I don't care what you're, bro. Again, give Jalen Hurts credit, Tone. I think he's first of all, he's an outstanding young man. You want to talk about a leader of your franchise, right? You want to talk about one of those guys that's going to lead. Oh, it's Jalen Hurts, right? He's the ultimate leader. The fact of the matter is, bro, again, I don't care what your feelings say. If you think he's taking the Washington Commanders to the NFC Championship game,
Oh,
you've
he
lost
said that
your damn
craziness too. Yeah, Lou. Oh gosh, yes.
You've lost your damn mind. Again, bro, like we're talking about quarterbacks for playing the position. I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts is not better than Jaden Daniels. Even after it just being one season, he's not. So again, I don't want to keep going back and forth. We already Matthew Stafford. We don't have a problem at 6. I'll take over from here. This is where my first issue in the top 10 list comes with Justin Herbert.
Yes, agreed.
Justin Herbert he shouldn't even be on this list. So I don't know what like, again, bro, I don't care if you're 6'7". I don't care you have one of the strongest arms in the league. Besides those 2 first seasons in the league,
is Baker on there? I'm sorry, Lou, for cut you off. Did Baker make this list?
Baker Mayfield is 10. So again, listen, I have Baker Mayfield over Justin Herbert. I have Jared Goff under Matthew Stafford, over Justin Herbert. I got Jalen Hurts, right, over Justin Herbert, right. But Justin Herbert, bro, I'm sorry, doesn't belong in this top 10 list. He's done absolutely nothing. I'm so tired of having this.
He breaking up for you or no?
Is Justin Herbert?
Say again.
He's in and out. Yeah.
Say it again, Lou. Repeat that second part.
I'm tired of people having the hypocritical, kind of thoughts, right? What is the narrative? How many playoff wins does Tua have? The same amount as Justin Herbert. How many division titles does Tua have? The same amount as Justin Herbert.
Like they got Justin Herbert up there and no CJ Stroud.
That's what
I
I'm
was
saying.
just about to say that. So if you take out Herbert, slide everybody up 1, put CJ Stroud at 10, would you be comfortable with that?
I would be comfortable with
No,
that.
because I think Jalen Hurts should have came in at least at 7. Even if some people want to put him above Matt Stafford, I'm not mad at that. Just don't tell me he outplayed them. But if you want to, because what he accomplished, he's been to 2 Super Bowls. Matt Stafford been to 1. He tend to show up when you need him the most. So I give that a lot of credit, right? But we're not going to ignore a bunch of the game to where he doesn't do nothing. Barely cracked 150 yards, and the team, all he got to do is not mess it up. But listen, accomplishments are accomplishments. But yeah, I think I would change that too.
Hey, Tone. Yeah, I would just change. CJ Stroud should definitely be on this list.
Yes.
And Justin Herbert should not. Again, I could care less about the positions we want to put him in.
Right.
Yeah.
Tone, look at this comment. And Jess, you do the same.
Man, I know
Herbert,
not that
Herbert
one. I
has
thought you were talking
been-
about a different comment.
Herbert has been to the playoffs 2 times and has carried the team twice. Now, he just made the playoffs this past season, Tom. Correct?
Yes, he did.
Do you realize, Ghost, or whoever the hell you are, do you realize the narrative in Los Angeles was they took the ball out of his hands?
Took it out of his hand.
They asked him to do less because when they put the ball in his hand, he folds. They played, again, they had, I think, the number 1 or number 2 scoring defense in the league, right? And I think they led the league in turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. And, right, they ran the ball at like a 60, almost 65% clip. They were only allowing that guy to throw the ball 35, maybe 40% of the time anyway. So this narrative that Justin Herbert has carried them, what are we talking about here, Tone?
Yes, statistically, he had like his second worst season in his career. Statistically. And It's only
Again,
second to
people just
last
be
year when he
talking.
was injured. He missed a couple of games.
Again, people just be talking, dog. All they do is talk.
Carry
They don't
them?
know what the hell they be talking about, but they just be talking.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, bro. I
have a question. So say you revamped this list, right? You took Herbert off, whatever you rearranged the order to, add CJ Stroud. At that point, who would you pick for number 11? That like almost made the list, but like just a question.
Either for me,
because like if you leave it how it is right now,
because I'm thinking between Buck Purdy, Bo Nix, and maybe Sam Darnold. Out of those three, I'll probably lead towards Buck Purdy because of what he's accomplished. But the only reason I'm not putting Bo Nix up there is because he only had one season. I need to see it again. I'll say that. But it'd be one of those three for me. That's for me. Maybe Kyler Murray, but he folded too much at the end of the season. But yeah, it'd be one of those three.
We're going based off last season?
Oh, well, no, I was going based on what quarterback I would take. If I'm taking him over him. You get what I'm saying? If Bo Nix have another season like how he had, then I would take him over Purdy. But at this point, I'm still edging Purdy over him right now. Based on how I'll get. But if you go based off last season, you could go however you want to put whoever at 11.
Shit. Yeah, I think there's a significant drop off, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think Tony was right. You could go Sam Darnold just based on last year. Jordan Love. Jordan Love.
Okay.
Again, that's where for me it's take your pick, right? It's the Dak Prescotts of the world. It's the Brock Purdy's of the world. It's the Tua Tagovailoas out of the world, right? Like that's where they fall. Anywhere between that, like 11 to 13, 14, 15 range. Any of those guys would fit the bill. So again, bro, listen, I'm not feeling well to go over what they should do or where they should be. Somewhere between 11 to 15, that's where Tua, Dak, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, that's where those guys should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not gonna mind. Hey, all right, this is off top. Jess, you got anything else? I'm sorry, because I want
to. No, I'm good from my end.
So, this is off top. This is for both of y'all. Have y'all seen what happened? And I know, Jess, you probably don't know about it because he's down here in Miami. But did y'all see what happened with Teddy Bridgewater?
I briefly saw he got suspended.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Didn't read too much into it, but I know that he was trying to help these kids out. Like it was like more of a community. He was providing them food, bus passes, etc. So
yeah, paying for Ubers for them to get back and forth, paying for equipment that they couldn't afford.
I know my stance on it from like the information that I have read on it. I have my own personal stance, but I can let y'all.
No, I want to you ladies first. What's your stance on it?
I call bullshit that they suspended him. And that comes from me being a teacher, because when I look at my kids, I want them to thrive in whatever. I would buy my kids whatever. I've had kids in my class where I bought them lunch. I had kids in my class where I provided clothing.
Well, let me tell you the difference between that is these are athletes he's doing it for, and that's against.
But at the same time, it doesn't matter. He wants them to thrive. He wants them to be able to have a life that maybe they may or not have been able to have before. Or he's just doing it because he's being kind. He's also helping.
Wait, hold on. Let me ask you something. You said bullshit. Like, if you don't think they did it, or you think they shouldn't have did it?
I don't think they should have.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I thought, I had confused.
No, like I don't think they suspended him at all, because, like, as an educator, whether you're a coach, a teacher, I don't care if you're a music teacher at this point, as an educator or somebody who is in charge of children, you want to make sure that they are in the safest hands or the best hands. And he's not doing anything wrong. He's making sure that the kids are provided for. They want to play the sport. He's making it happen. Why stop that? Because now you may have ruined some of these kids' futures, in a sense. Like, you may have ruined this chance for some of these kids where we don't know what kind of background some of these kids he's helping is from. Some of these kids that he's buying food for may not eat at home until they come back to school the next day.
Facts.
So my angle of it, I'm seeing that from a teacher perspective, working in a school. That's my angle on it, because I've experienced that as a teacher, and I don't see why do that, because now you just ruined him and ruined the kids that he's in charge of. Whether you're a coach, teacher, whatever. I'm just saying the standpoint on being an educator. I don't get it.
What about you, Lou? Lou there? You not there?
He was, but maybe disappeared.
He probably did. All right. Well, listen. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm from Dade, so I understand what he's doing. Me personally, when I was in school, right, and this so I could be on a personal level because I've been through this, bro. When I was growing up, my mom couldn't afford nothing, nothing to get the basketball practice and football practice, and I ran track. My coaches picked me up, took me home. My coaches took me to eat. Make sure, if I needed something, my coaches did that. Right? Now I know that's against it. You don't supposed to do that. But if you're gonna tell me, and this is why I think it's kind of trash. They just approved the NIL deals, right? For Florida. Florida is like one of the first ones for high schools.
Yeah.
I don't know if it went in place yet. I want to know who's responsible for doing this, because I know it's hate.
Oh,
and I'm gonna tell you why. So I have a little bit more, because I know the thing that went on between Northwestern and Central was the big hot school, because the dude that I work with, his son, who just went to UM, he played for them. So I understand the rivalry, right? And yeah, whatever it was, they felt like Teddy had something to do with that. Because the West ended up getting in the playoffs over Central because they had to forfeit the game and give the West that victory, whatever, however that goes. But to do this, it was about the children. Now, hypocrisy is the reason that they said Teddy was wrong is because he caused them kids, right, which he did at Central, an opportunity to play in playoffs and improve their college scholarships, and get signed, and all that, because now you lose out on the opportunity.
Yeah.
These are what you got, scouts coming to watch these kids, and you took that away from them.
Right.
Now to turn around, and if this how you retaliate to try to get him for helping kids, when your whole gripe, and that was the biggest gripe down here, was he took away opportunity from kids, you wronger than him. You want to know why? Because you understand how them kids felt when they got their opportunity took for them.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to retaliate in that matter, what about the children that's affected by that? When I saw that, I was like, yo, this has got to be the craziest stuff that I've ever seen. Uber rides, food, transportation home and to and from school.
Yep.
Right? I can see if he was taking them out to clubs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hanging out, putting money in their pocket, making them do all kind of reckless stuff. Now that man provided away from them. Imagine you got a kid that's have all the talent in the world, but he don't have energy because he can't afford to eat.
Right.
And you got me, a former NFL player, well off, because whether you like it or not, first of all, he was a starter before, and you could be the last person on the bench. You play in the league as long as Teddy been, you sitting on millions.
Yeah. Yep.
So I can afford to help out. And this is one thing that I hate about the new generation and the new people coming in and the people that is running the way they try to run these school boards now, because it's all about the money and they're forgetting about the kids, because you ain't had this back then. You didn't have people hating on people like if you had a problem with them, you had a problem with them. You know how many times you like, man, like I'll tell y'all, bro, living and dating here, like people that live down here, how many times people like, bro, I ain't even gonna say nothing because I ain't gonna mess them kids up like that. But you wrong. People say this kind of stuff, bro. It happens all the time. And for people to not understand that was, to me, I'm like, it's about when I saw Uber, food, rides home, right, providing money so they could afford equipment.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to suspend them for?
Right. It's not like he's like, oh, I'm paying their parents' mortgage or this and that. You're not talking thousands of dollars being dished out on the daily. You're talking probably $20 for some food, maybe $25 for an Uber ride. Come on, let's be for real. Like I just don't see what the harm is. And then like, I don't know.
Pre-game meals.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Now, like somebody said in the letter of the law, right? You understand what you could, the parents usually do that, right? And they do that. And which I'm quite sure he didn't do it himself. He probably had the parents giving them money. Yeah, y'all come donate this money so the kids can have pre-game meals. You know, the parent of, right, when I played for Booker T, right, the quarterback, his mama used to buy us food for every pregame and cook us food every pregame and food for after the games.
Yeah.
You know who she got the money from? The coaches.
Right. Right.
We know this because she was like, hey, yo, listen, man, these kids got to eat. I'm going to cook for these kids, but y'all need to help me out.
Yeah.
These are facts. I've been there. I've seen it. I know how it goes down. And for them, I don't. That one kind of, I looked at it because everybody was down on Teddy, said you did something wrong, blah, blah, blah. Cool. But that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's a no from me.
Tony snitching is wild. I'm not even going to lie. It's wow. But no, that to me, that sucks because that would have affected somebody like me when I was in there. Like I wouldn't, we couldn't, like, come on, bro.
You have two ways or two other than like the stuff that we've said and whatever about opportunities and blah, 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 that come to the kids. You have two other major points. One is you're now teaching these kids that basically being a good person or trying to be that good person is not worth it because nobody's going to give you any credit for it and you're going to lose your job or whatever for it. And then
that's a great point, Jess.
We preach as parents or even just as people, like you see videos about it all the time. Parents showing up or teachers showing up matters. Kids love to see somebody show up behind them. And now you've taken that person who is literally their advocate. If mom couldn't be there because she had to work 12 hours a day, he was there. He made sure that he ate or, whatever, made sure that this person ate, this kid did whatever, got home safely, wasn't out on the street. And now you've taken that away from them. By all means, I don't get it. I don't like it and I don't get it.
That's to me, when I saw that, I was like, what? I mean, at the bare minimum, y'all could have just like, hey, listen, man, what you could do. You know what? No, I can't even say that because honestly, it's sad for me to say this because I know how the politics down here are moving towards now. I know that it was people from the outside that was hating, right? Yeah.
But ain't they saying it was people? Ain't they saying there was people from Northwestern that turned him in though?
Now, Lou, you get into something that I don't want to talk about because some of them kids was supposed to. Listen, it's a lot of stuff that kind of stuff I don't want to say nothing about. But what I would say is just, well, Lou, you know how it is. You understand when people feel like, oh, you got favoritism, or
that's what it was. Right.
You're used to having favoritism because this one could do this for this one, and this one couldn't. So because of this, you get a little bit more player time. Oh, you are famous, you get a little bit. He don't need that. So now the best players can play. So, you can't bribe me to give playing time to people that just because you got a little in your pocket to slide me. What's up? I say.
I want to bring up this comment.
I was thinking about that for those kids' transportation. The problem with that is they should, right?
They still taking it, but they're not going to.
They aren't.
And now, when it comes to like sports, you have the other side of parents that are going to complain about it.
What about the food aspect of it? What about the not being able to afford the equipment aspect of it? right? It's not
Yeah.
only that, now when you do with the school, sometimes, like for instance, let's go. So I give you a moment because the school do provide transportation. So if them kids needed to go to school, they would have provided them transportation. You have that bus, but it leaves at one time,
Yeah.
right? So if you got a kid that need to work on his craft, that's willing to stay after school, he can't because he has to leave with everyone else.
Right.
Now you put that kid in a predicament. Am I going to stay here and get better? And you just can't, like, now he can't stay out there and get better because he have no way to get home. When you got coach, like, no, don't worry about it. Work on your craft. Hey, y'all work on and you good? Okay, you can, because you see a kid that's willing to put in the extra work.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's like, and then you have, it's so much to that because they're gonna drop you off at certain spots. Like, it ain't like they take you.
Yeah.
It's not like the old school. They drop you off in front of your houses. No, you got in Miami, at least, you got spots that they take you to.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So if the whatever the route is, you might not. And then you run into another one when you have the kids. See, people don't know this. Like down here, there's a lot of kids that go to schools that don't have athletics in their school. So they're allowed to play with at Miami Northwestern for sports. That bus ain't taking you to wherever you live at because you live outside the district, right? So that bus is not going there. You have to figure your own transportation to back and forth to practice. So it's a lot of things that a lot of people don't know. But
and we could highlight this one. It's such a shame that these public.
It's such a shame these public schools are so broke.
They're not broke.
They're not allocating the money where they're supposed to go.
Exactly. The problem is that we're paying superintendents 6-figure salaries when they sit in offices and don't really do much of shit.
These are
when you have all the people on the front line that aren't getting paid.
Yeah, but I just wanted to get that part out because I saw that. I was like, dog, that I ain't like that. I really, that's two schools that got affected this year, and these two are most prominent schools, Miami Northwestern and Miami Central. And it's like, bro,
no, it's nasty. But if the rumors are true, what makes it even nastier, it was themselves snitching on themselves.
Right.
Yeah. That's what's even more nasty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I know we ain't gonna talk about it like that on here, but if the rumors, I've kind of heard some things, and if those rumors are true, it's shame on the parents that actually turned on those kids.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so.
And I know there's some people that are like in the comments or whatever saying that, it was favoritism, this and that. You also have to be realistic. Some of these kids, naturally, they have it. And others don't. And when you see a kid that has something, especially something when it comes to like sports, you know it. You can look at them and be like, they got it. And you want to, it's not that you want to focus on that kid, but you're like, we need to make that path clear. So yeah, it is favoritism in a sense, but that's just how it goes. That's just life in general. You're always going to have somebody who's better at something than somebody else is.
That is one thing that I hate about being in Miami-Dade County. Anybody that lives here, they know that's our man. We are literally what you call crabs in a bucket, bro. When it comes to sports like that, like the athletics is there, but when it comes to things like that, bro, if one team on the top, the other team, they gonna hate on you. Even the people on the within, like if Miami Northwestern is shining, but it ain't my child shining, I'm gonna figure out a way to get my child to shine.
Right.
And it sucks that it's like that, but that's one of the bad things about the politics down here when it comes to the sporting is if it ain't my child, I'm gonna figure out a way to do it. Especially when they've been getting special treatment all the way since Pop Warner, but now you in high school, you're like, oh yeah, you would do that dude in Pop Warner, but hey, this high school is another level here. You started at quarterback because your daddy or your uncle was the coach. You know what I'm saying? Like but it's all good. But now I just want to get that. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But yeah, I wanted to get y'all thoughts on that. But I'm done. If we ain't got nothing. Lou, you still
here? Yeah. I'm here.
All right, I know you don't feel well, man, but you get us up out of here, my brother.
All right, man. Salute to everybody coming through. Still 34 in the room. We will be back Wednesday. I'm gonna start saying 8 o'clock ish because again, I'm gonna blame Jess. Jess has been nah, I'm just playing. Hey, from my dog Tone, for Jess, for the producer in the back, for myself. This is the Blitz pickup. You already know. Who am I gonna put the revolver in their hands today? Let me see.
Oh, G already put the bang, bang, bang.
Hey, well, there you go. The chat has the revolver today. Y'all know what to do. Fill up the chat with the bang, 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 because that revolver don't miss. This is a Blitz pickup. We'll see y'all Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Peace.